Welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast.
It's not over till that bitch is dead.
Let's delve into that a bit deeper.
I'm going to be like the peacekeeper between you two tonight.
Don't fuck with the original.
Yeah, don't fuck with the original.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast, part of the You Run Podcast Network. My name is Katie, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Chantal. Hi, Chantal.
Hi.
So we're going to be doing something a little different for you guys for the next month or so. We've decided to do a little mini-series covering some of the incredible films showcased at the UK Film Festival FrightFest. We're so excited to introduce you to these films and give you a bit of our insight. Thanks so much for listening and enjoy.
Okay. Are we ready for the last one of this week?
I'm so ready.
Okay, so we are now covering, and we both look very excited, Broken Bird, directed by Joanne Mitchell. Sybil Chamberlain works as a professional mortician at a funeral parlor. She has spent her life looking for love. Brought up as a privileged, carefree child, at the age of 10, she lost everything in a tragic accident. A darkness fell over her as the bright lights of her life were snuffed out swiftly and cruelly. Now an emptiness, an aching loneliness prevails, a gloomy void she seeks to fill. Reality and reason are slipping away from Sybil, and her dark desires are becoming more insatiable and progressively out of control. Will she ever find happiness and contentment, especially as the company she keeps is mainly deceased? So, Katie, I'm so excited to hear what you thought of this one.
I loved it. It was so good. I had no idea where the film was going in the most part. Like, it could have just gone in any which direction. There was nothing predictable to me about this film. I was just kind of like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm on this roller coaster, but I'm loving it. Yeah, I thought it was great. And I think that's a brilliant sign, actually, that like you just don't know where something's gonna go. Like, I thought that was amazing. Very unpredictable. I loved like how visually stunning it was as well. I love the sort of gothic look, the aesthetic of it. I think Joanne Mitchell has just captured that perfectly, just like a proper sort of gothy vibe. I really liked it. It's not something I don't think it's not really a kind of film I've ever seen before. And I really enjoyed it. What about you?
Same. I pretty much texted you halfway through this and I was like, I'm having the best time. I think it's really well done. I don't think there's another film like it. I think the main character, so Sybil, is so unlikable. Like if she was in your, like you worked with her or something, she would be so unlikable. And yet on screen, you're fascinated with her. You just want to see what she's going to do next. And it gets more and more insane. There was one or two scenes, well, actually, as I say, like there's quite a few scenes and quite a lot of the plot is problematic, well, again, it's a horror, like the themes are obviously going to be that kind of way. There was a bit where I was like, if the characters were gender swapped, I think it would be really problematic. And I think we'd be having a very different conversation. So I'm not going to pretend that, anything she does in the film is okay. But I do think the way they kind of go about it is quite, as you say, like the way they present it and the way they go about it, somehow you're still fascinated with this character. You want to slap her, but you also kind of want to hang out with her for a day just to see what happens.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
It was bizarre. And like going from how she was portrayed in the most of the film to how she's portrayed at the end is just, they're just polar opposites.
Yeah.
And that just kind of brings a more sort of like horror element to me, that it's kind of like, fuck, you really don't know this character at all. It's just so unpredictable. And there are so many just surprises and shocks in the film. And Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like she's so unlikable, but then she also kind of makes these like witty comments and she does these things and you kind of it draws you back in to wanting to know more about her.
Yeah. I think that's it. You're so curious about her and you kind of accept that she's unlikable in this weird, quirky. I'm
Hmm.
gonna say quirky because again, try not to give away spoilers. I know there's people listening who are like, that's not the right word. But again, we're try not to give spoilers away. So we're gonna go with quirky. Um, but it's just, yeah, you just want to know why. You want to know how she got to this place and where it's going to take her. And
Yeah.
yeah, I did struggle to see how she was kind of connected to some of the other characters. Again, I think when it all comes together, it's really well done. But it's still one of those where you are trying to like guess for a lot of the film when you're trying to piece the puzzle together before you've kind of got all the pieces.
Yeah, for sure. I did really pick up on a few like film references as well, like whether they were supposed to be there or not, I don't know. But there were a few things that really reminded me of certain films. So I got a quite a big Frankenstein sort of element at some points,
Yeah.
which I think you probably know what I'm referring to. Even the voices with Ryan Reynolds
You
in
know what?
some.
I thought that, and again, quite a likable character. Even if you're like, if I met you in reality, I'd be calling the police.
Mm.
Like,
You know, like having this is kind of Sybil's world and
yeah,
we're living in it, you know? Like she is showing us what she's seeing, and that's kind of similar to Ryan Reynolds' character in The Voices.
yeah,
And I don't know if that was an influence, but it really reminded me of that. And even one scene in The Haunting of Hill House, I felt like I was really getting that vibe, I think, towards the end as well, which I'll explain to you
yeah.
when we're not recording, so I don't spoil anything. But yeah, that kind of I was getting the Voices vibe
Mm.
from this film as well.
Yeah, I could absolutely see it. I was going to say Scream 3, purely because one, she actually does look like Courtney Cox, and two, The Fringe. And you can't not mention The Fringe. But even because, again, I think even just choosing that fringe and then seeing her styling it and trimming it, like, shows you so much about her character. And I think it was so cleverly done, using something so subtle and so small to tell you so much. I think that was,
Mm.
again, I think Joanne Mitchell did perfect there. And I'm just going to quickly, sorry, I'm very well. You can see I'm looking at my phone, but I'm very quickly just trying to pull up the actors' names so that I get them correct. Because I
I
think
know,
they just did a great job.
yeah, I know Rebecca Calder played Sybil,
Yeah.
who was superb, I think. Like literally, she just has a way about her where she can kind of be so calm and collected. But then if you know that if you're going to piss her off, things are going to change and you're suddenly going to get shit scared. And just the way that she can go from sort of multiple personalities.
Mm.
And yeah, I think she was just brilliant. There were some points where even some of the comments she made were quite funny. They were quite comedic, but then other things, it would just be the most horrific thing. She just
Yeah.
finished doing the most horrific thing, but then would make some sort of like smart ass comment. And just the way that Rebecca Calder like portrayed all of that was just so impressive.
I think as well as you say, like the calm was actually sometimes scarier.
Yeah.
Was like, oh, okay, fuck that. Um, there was one bit where she's with one of the other actresses and there's like a stage slap, which was a little bit, there's something about it doesn't fit right. I don't know if it's the sound or the act. That took me out a little bit because there was some other bits where there was like stage fighting. Again, that's a very loose term for what it was. That was fucking brilliant. And then so there was one, I think that would be my one downside for it, where I
Mm.
was just like, that one bit, I was like, oh, that did look very realistic. But in the whole of everything, I'll allow
Yeah.
it.
Nice. Yeah. Fair enough. I think for me, I think maybe sometimes pacing in some of the scenes were a bit, maybe that was, there maybe was some pacing issues. I think maybe there are some scenes that could have been slightly sped up, but in general, I think it did flow well. But I think if I'm gonna criticize it for anything, which is very hard to because it's an excellent film, but maybe it could have been slightly shorter. They could have sped things up ever so slightly, but I mean, that's literally finding a needle in a haystack. Like it was so good that didn't really even matter in the end.
No, I know what you mean. I mean, I'll always agree for a more condensed film, but I think because like that was it. There was so much going on in this, um, but it was yeah. And I know what you mean by like pacing and stuff, but I think yeah, as you say, like it's so good overall. I'll kind of allow. I'll just
Yeah.
allow it. The SFX. Oh my god,
Right.
obsessed. Absolutely love whoever their SFX artist was. Fucking
Well,
fair
for
play.
those that we've got new listeners, Tell is a huge SFX girl.
Have you noticed?
So yeah, she's gonna be fangirling over this SFX situation.
It was so good. I just think as well, they knew it was good. Like the shots they used to show it off, just they were so happy with it. They were clearly very confident with it.
Is there one that you can talk about without giving away spoilers? Is there like a scene that maybe
not
was it kind of mainly taking place in the funeral parlor?
Yeah, and I think again that's not really a giveaway because it does say that she works as a mortician. So again, kind of you know what to expect when you're sort of in a mortician. Like you can expect the dead bodies. Not all dead bodies come into funeral parlors intact. And again, so I don't think it's a surprise that some of them won't be. But I just think when you see it, it is one of those moments where it's like, oh shit, like because it is shocking, like seeing a dead body, and then it's the other level where it's like actually you're seeing it from the mortician's point of view, and obviously they see it, you know, at its worst. Their job is to like undertakers and that get it ready for family and friends to see the body and it be presentable. I did like that there is a scene where you kind of see them prepping a body, and I think that was really cool, like the way that was done, because they didn't really hold back. Like I think they do kind of show you like every stage, but I didn't think that bit dragged too bad. Again, but it also I'm just rambling, but it doesn't break it down too much. It doesn't drag too much. It just kind of what do they call it? Like a montage of like an autopsy. It was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that was really good because you kind of didn't need to see every single thing.
No,
you didn't need to see everything, but like, yeah, a montage of it was perfect because you kind of got all the information you fucking wanted. Like, that's enough, thanks.
It's like, ew, that's what happens.
Yeah. Some of it is not what normally happens, I don't think.
You're like, I don't think that happens. I'm trying to find so there's another storyline going parallel with a police officer, and I'm trying to find her name. Was it Emma?
Ooh,
I believe her name was Emma.
Okay, I didn't note that down.
I did write down what the fuck ever at one point.
Okay, well then
I'm sure that's who I was talking about. Again, I think her acting and her storyline was unfortunately next to Sybil. Sybil's acting was fucking phenomenal. But I do think Emma's was really good. She had a very hard storyline, so she didn't get to play with this like quirky side. But she had some really difficult scenes, and I cannot find the actress's name. So I do, when I find it, I'll put it along here. But yes, yeah, so I think that was really good. And then again, seeing how that all kind of like how that's all revealed and how that plays out. But there was a bit with her as well where we didn't see exactly what happened, but the implied was enough. Your imagination takes you exactly where it needed to go. And I think that was more shocking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I know what you mean. And yeah, it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, fuck.
Yes.
That just happened.
Yeah, no, she had a very, very different role. I know that Joanne Mitchell, this was based on a short film called Sybil. So I would be very interested to watch that.
I'd love to watch just everything to do with Sybil. Oh, she's so messed up and so brilliant.
Yeah, you're a Sybil stan. Just admit it, Tal.
I know she sucks, Like, but I'm aware of that. Like, I'm not in denial. She sucks.
It's giving this is the issue with horror films. You start to love these fucking villains. You know, like when we did American Psycho, we were, you know, raving about Patrick Bateman, Hannibal Lecter, these kind of like lovable but also awful human beings. And that's the fucking issue with horror, because you start to love them and you're thinking, what is wrong with me?
I mean, yeah, we should have known she was, you know, going to be bad as soon as she was doing stand-up poetry. Like, I bet Hannibal Lecter would have loved stand-up poetry too.
He would have just sipping a nice Chianti, just fucking loving it.
That's also not too much of a spoiler because that's quite early in. But that does bring us into, do you have a wow moment?
There were so many in this film. I was just wowed the entire time. That finale, I think, I know I'm repeating myself with the Christopher Lee film, but just that entire finale, I just wasn't expecting it. I thought it was kind of beautiful in some parts. That's kind of where it really did remind me of sort of Haunting of Hill House. I'm not going to say this because it is a spoiler, but there is something really powerful in the ending there's lots of switches to different scenes and different vibes, and it just worked perfectly. And it just wasn't an ending I expected, because I wasn't expecting an ending at all. There was nothing predictable about this film. So it was just a really beautiful way to end it. I loved it. Yeah. What about you?
I'm sorry, the scene, right, I have a favourite scene, but I can't say it because it's a massive spoiler, but it popped into my head. I'm going to stick with the SFX as my wow moment because I think it was just brilliantly done.
Nice.
And that's the bit I love in every film. But yeah, so who would you recommend this to? I keep forgetting which order we do things in. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's only our podcast and I haven't got a clue what I'm doing.
Who would I recommend this to? Again, this is the thing. It's kind of maybe not everyone, because it is kind of very gory in some parts. There is a lot of horror elements in there. But to be fair, like the kind of things that I've quoted, like I think Frankenstein, The Voices, Haunting of Hill House, like if you kind of like that, they are three very different films. But I think if you're just a
That's so different.
I don't know what to say, because I think every horror fan should watch this. There we go. What about you?
I would say, yeah, if you like it a bit more dark and twisted, if you are kind of a little bit into the grotesque, into the morbid, I think this is your film. Yeah, like a little bit dark humor. I think, as we said, there are going to be topics in here which are quite difficult. There's not going to be topics that everyone's going to find as funny as you and I did. Which again, I keep laughing at, and I'm very aware someone out there, that's like, they're going to be so angry at that, like at some of those scenes. And I'm here going, I thought it was funny. Like, but I think again, not every film is for everyone, but I think this is it. If you're a little bit into the sort of like, I was gonna say like macabre and the dark humor, this is for you.
Yeah.
And we'll be right there alongside you.
We will be.
Go on then, what are you going to give it out of 5?
I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5. I loved it. Really, really enjoyed it. I think maybe the only thing that was holding it back was slight pacing issue, but other than that, it was brilliant. And I just want to show like every horror fan this film. I think it's brilliant. What about you?
I'd love to, yeah, like, can we just, I think this is in the cinema. I think this is coming, maybe not right now, but I think I did see when I was Googling some information about it, it kept coming up like with like, oh, cinema tickets. And I did double check it wasn't FrightFest, but I think it was like one cinema in Yorkshire sort of thing. So if you're very fucking lucky and you live up there, go see it. But we will share all the information, obviously, when we know more. I think I'm also going to give it 4.5. I kind of want to give it a 5. But I think there's a slight pacing issue. That's one slap really kind of bugged me. But yeah, I just really enjoy this film. I think, yeah, I was so pleasantly surprised. Like, I was kind of intrigued by the name, but it just really beat all expectations. Again, I didn't watch a trailer or anything, so I didn't know what to expect, and I thought it was great. Well done,
So
Joanne
good.
Mitchell. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
smashed it.
Right. Well, go and see it and enjoy.
Enjoy.